Hello everyone, I am Akshay. Today I am here to demonstrate task 3.2p of SIT 331, which is Full Stack Development Secure Backend Services. So let's begin. So starting with, let's see that what this task is and what this task wants us to do. So in this task, we had to use all the endpoints which are same as previous task 2.1p, but there is a lot of difference in its implementation. As in this task, I had broken down the application, and instead of having all the endpoints in a single file, I had splitted the endpoints into separate controller files, which are robot command controller and map-controller.cs. Also, I had separated the robot command and map classes in different files, and the program.cs file only contains the main entry points in the application. So for this, I had put the mapcontroller.cs and robotcommandcontroller.cs files in a single controller folder. Now starting with the codes, first of all in map.cs, I had defined the map class which represents the variables which I had made for map, such as id, columns, rows, names, description, created date and modified date. Then I had made a constructor to initialize the properties of the map object. Now, same for robotcommand.cs. This file defines the robot command classes and represents the variables for robot commands such as the ID, name, description, isMove command, created date, and modified date. Here also, I had made a constructor to initialize the properties of robot command object. Now next, if we talk about the mapcontroller.cs, then first of all, in this starting line, we can see that I had used the Microsoft.ASP.NET Core MVC to import the classes and interfaces from ASP.NET Core framework. Then this root API/maps attribute is used to specify the base route for all the endpoints which are defined within the controller. So it means that all the endpoints will be start with /API/maps. Then I had made this list for static read only field to store the list of map class object. It acts as built-in database which allows us to store the data. And I had initialized some of the temporary data in it. Next, coming to the endpoints, first of all, this getAllMap endpoint is used to fetch all the maps which are stored within the database. Next, this getSquareMap is used to fetch all the maps which are of square size, as they filter them and compares that if the rows and columns are equal. Then this getMapById is used to fetch the map by using just ID of created map. Now next, the addMap is used to add a new map to _map list which I had created here. We can add the map by putting the fields in the body section in Postman. Now next, this update map is used to send put request, which is basically used to update the map by using its ID. Now next, this delete map endpoint is used to delete the map by using the ID of the map provided by us as a user. Now lastly, this check coordinate endpoint is used to check the map by its ID and coordinates, where we have to put both x and y coordinate to fetch the data of the map. So this was all about the mapcontroller.cs. Now next, talking about the robot command controller.cs, I had used the ASP.NET Core framework, same as which I had used in mapcontroller.cs. Then I had used this API/robot-commands to specify the base route for all the endpoints. And here I had made a list for static read only to store the robot command class object. It will store the data in built-in database, and here I had initialized some of the data. Now coming to these endpoints, this getAllMap commands endpoint is used to get all the robot commands which are available within the database. Next, the getMove command only is used to return only the move command, basically in the data in which the move command is true. Then this getRobot command by ID is used to retrieve the robot commands by using its ID. Next, the addRobot command is used to add a new robot commands by typing the data in the body field in Postman. Then this updateRobot command is used to update an existing robot command. To update it, we just have to type the ID of the command, then we can modify it by changing the body. Now lastly, this deleteRobot command is used to delete the robot command by using its ID. So this was all about the robot command.cs. Now next, in program.cs, I had used this web application.create builder to configure the ASP.NET Core application. Then this add controllers is used to add the needed services for controller. Next, this is used to build the web application. Now, this use HTTP redirection function is used to provide security to encrypt the data. Now this map controller is used to route the application. Lastly, this app.run function is used to start the application. Now I am going to show you the endpoints which I have created in Postman. So these were all the endpoints which I had created in Postman. So now let's check the output of our code. As we can see that our application is built successfully. Now we will test all the commands in Postman. So first of all, if we test all the robot commands, then we can see that all the data got appeared which we had initially stored with 200 OK status. So with this we can clearly see that our endpoint is working fine. Next, if we test move command, then after sending it, we can see that the ID with true move command are appeared. As we can see that ID 1, 2 and 3 are true for move, and also this 200 OK status is appeared that this endpoint is also working fine. Then with the help of this read commands, we can find the data by just putting the ID here. As here, if I test it with ID2, then we can see that we had successfully fetched its data with the status code of 200 OK. Same as with ID5, we got the data successfully. But if we try it with an ID which is not present, then we can see that no ID was found and 404 found code appeared. Next, if we try to post a new robot command, then we just have to add the data in the body. After adding and sending it, the command is successfully created with a status code of 201 created. Now, if we want to check it, then we will have to go to all robot commands and we can see that the new command is added to our database. Now here for testing, if I change the data of the body of ID5, we can see that it is successfully changed with 200 OK status. Now again, if we check it, then the robot commands, we can see that the data of index 5 gets updated. Now if we try to delete the robot command of ID6, then we can see that no content is appeared, which means that no ID is left. Now again, if we test it, then here we can see that the ID6 is successfully deleted from the database. Now if we try to fetch the data of all the maps, then by using read maps request, we can fetch all the data of created maps as we can see here. Then this square map is used to check the data of only the map which are of square size. As we can see that the map with ID 5 has 10 rows and 10 columns, which represents a square map. Then this read map is used to fetch the data of map by ID. As we can see that the data of ID2 gets appeared. If we test it with ID4, then also we can see that the data is appeared. But if we test it with ID7, then we can see that no data is found because there is no map with ID7 in the database. Now if we try to add a new map here for testing with 7 rows and 7 columns, then we can see that it is successfully added. Now if we fetch its data in read maps, then we can see that this ID is successfully added to the database. Then if we want to update the map, let's suppose 6, then I had changed it with 3 columns and 9 rows. Again, after checking it in read maps endpoint, we can see that it gets successfully updated with a status code of 200 OK. Now if we try to delete map with ID6, then it gets deleted. So to verify it, we can check it in read maps and we can see that this ID is deleted successfully. Now lastly, if we test read map coordinate, then by putting ID, let's suppose 5 with x coordinate as 2 and y coordinate as 5, we can see that the x and y coordinates are 10. Then the response will be true as we can see here. But if we test it with the coordinates which are out of bounds such as 13, then we can see that the response will be false. So this was all about my demonstration of task 3.2p. Thank you very much.